So the card I pulled for today is Be Your Own Hero. And it says, believe that you are worthy of an amazing life. Who here believes they're worthy of an amazing life? Like worthy, like 100 worthy. And if you don't believe you're worthy, I believe you're worthy. So that's enough. You don't need to feel guilty or hold yourself back to make anyone else feel comfortable. You don't need to be timid or uncertain, worrying that you're becoming too much for someone else or asking too much from the universe. Living a great life is not about competition with anybody else. Living a great life helps inspire others to do the same. Inspire others to do the same. That's so, so real for me. It doesn't take anything away from anybody else. If your dreams both excite and scare you, that's a good sign. Give yourself permission to go for it. Go after what you want with a happy heart. And there's more. I'll post it all in the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. So look out for that. So let me tell you all about Amber. Amber imagines a world where people experience the freedom to be their full, authentic selves and experience immense joy and success as a result. For those of you who are into the whole human design thing, she is a projector like me. And I feel like she's a great example of how you can be a projector, you can be successful, and you can take care of yourself and not be that waterfall that's completely missing and depleted. She's the founder of Soul Seed Strategy based in Madison, Wisconsin, where she and her team provide business growth strategy, leadership coaching, retreat speaking, business strategy consulting, and leadership training. She's helped numerous clients locally and globally to transform their operations, launch, grow, and sell businesses. But more importantly, do so in a way that's aligned to who they authentically are and how they desire to live and lead. I love this part because I love books. She's the author of Wall Street Journal bestselling book, which was named the 2023, so not like some millions of years ago, guys, but really relevant for now, 2023 most inspirational book of the year. It's called Unleash. A I've been there, rocked that attitude to radical authenticity in life and business. And when she's not strategizing with clients or speaking on stage, you'll find her rocking with her metal band, Morning Star. So, Diane, you're not the only musician in the house. We've got other musicians here too. And I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, welcome, Amber. The stage is yours. Please share your gifts and talents with us.
Thank you. And I love that we're doing a breakout because I love to have breakouts in workshops. So I love that. It's just how it's all coming together. So it's already been wonderful learning so much about everyone in the room and just really get this awesome sense of just so many threads of alignment. So I'm going to just start with a bit of a personal story, a few key milestones. And I just want to invite you to notice if there's anything you hear in it for you, anything that you relate and you're like, wow, I can really witness some of my own growth in the journey. Anything that inspires you, or maybe anything that feels a little edgy, hits on the edges, like, ooh, I don't know if that's for me. Just see if what comes up for you. You can just make notes for yourself. So when I look back 15, I know we're talking about vision going forward, and it's important sometimes with what we're looking at ahead that we're taking some space also looking at what are some of the things that have come with us for the journey that are no longer ours to go ahead as a part of the vision heading forward. And I know there were a lot of themes in the room today around walking this transformation point about where you're going next year, being in even just greater alignment with yourself. So when I look back, a few distinct memories. In 2008, I had just completed college, which was a huge milestone for me. I was the first in my family to even complete high school. So college was like a whole additional level, right? But I was moved in with my boyfriend and we were struggling. And I remember a time at Walmart having to put noodles back on the shelf, not being able to afford them. And that memory of being so frustrated, but also seeing the vision for my future and being so radically committed to doing what it took to create a new reality for myself so that I would no longer have to live in that kind of a way of being of just getting by day to day. I was working so hard to break that cycle of what I was raised with. So fast forward 7 years and it's 2015 and a whole lot happened in that time frame. And I was in a sales marketing career at a television station where I realized I was really good at brand strategy and just business in general. I hadn't really been taught it. I just figured it out. I became a top salesperson, earning over six figures, completely radically transformed my life, right? from nearly almost homeless at one point, where my husband and I had gotten our first piece of furniture was a mattress from the trash. I couldn't afford noodles at Walmart, to 7 years later, had a house, was finally shifting my life. But I also felt called to something bigger and different. And bigger wasn't just about the money, right? It was what I call in my book, I talk about it as a soul whisper that just kept pecking and getting louder and louder. And that then became another catalyst to pull me toward my vision, where I didn't exactly know how everything would play out, but I knew that if I stayed in that job, while it would be great for some people, it was kind of as far as I would ever go in my evolution as a soul being, right? So I decided to launch my business and focus on helping people with building brands and marketing. And I said, okay, I really feel I'm meant to help people really live into their dreams, but I don't know what that business is. So I'll start this business. I'll build it to $1 million a year by year 5, and then I'll sell it and I'll use that money to then step into my vision about what I'm really meant to be doing. Right. So I had a very clear mission over those 5 years. I built my team. We focused on serving one client at a time. We hit this benchmark that was huge for us, something that only 2.5% of women-owned businesses do, hit that $1 million benchmark. We did it by year 5. And we were coming into 2020 and looking at selling the business. And then, as we know, a whole bunch of things happened in 2020, right? And that led me to make a decision for a whole bunch of reasons to decide to trust again that there were other times in my life when I walked a big pivot. I walked a transformation journey. I did it in 2008. I did it in 2015. And I decided it was time again to trust that it was time to transform even to the next version of my vision, which was to keep helping women business owners and effectively let go of my $1 million marketing agency. So around this time is when I got connected with Robin. She came onto the team a couple of years ago, which was a huge, well, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. It feels like it's been a long journey together. And so it was in that time from 2020 until currently that we walked this transformation, really looking at, if anything's possible, what does my heart desire? What is the work that I'm really meant to do here in the world? And through that, I got clear in the vision to rebrand, to become Soul Seed Strategy, and really own that we work at the intersection of where your soul vision and your purpose meets your strategy. Really taking a stand for what we call heart-centered, visionary, conscious leaders. Whether you work for yourself or you have a company or a team, there's a bunch of ways to be successful in business. And there's a growing part of our population who's opening their eyes to say, well, there's a bunch of ways to be successful in business, but I'm here to really uncover what's my fullest expression in business. Really, what's the work that I'm uniquely suited to do? And we really specialize in helping people walk that transformation point journey. And that's what we'll be talking about through a few steps today, is getting present to what does it look like to live into the version of you and the vision for yourself and for your business that's really meant to bloom this year. Now, as I'll show you, we have a background as business strategists, and we get into sales and numbers and all that stuff all day long. I love helping people with their systems and their strategy, but today is about creating the space for you to just really connect with yourself in a lighter way and just say, what's really meant to come through for you? What's ready to bloom next year? And then on the back end, I'll give you some resources and tools that can help you as you're thinking about your strategic planning. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want to, let's see here. For those of you who are visual in the room, and maybe I should ask you, Dr. Davia, what time do we need to make sure that I kind of wrap up by to make sure I keep us on time? Oops, I can't hear you.
1:37.
Okay, so that'll be, okay. Oh, great. We're going to have plenty of time. Okay, awesome. So I've got like 17 minutes. Okay, fabulous. 17 minutes, right? I'm in a different time zone. I think I'm doing the math. Okay, so before we jump into our steps, I want to just show you a little bit and talk a little bit more about what we believe in, who we are. Some people are visual learners, and these are some of our team over the year and some of our pictures of team members and staff. And I love showing this. And I think so many of you will relate from the things I've already heard you share, which is that there are a million ways that you can do business, but it's about doing it in the way that works for you, aligning with how your energy works, the kind of customers that you're passionate about serving. One of my favorite things is to say, like, this is us doing business, right? We're in a waterfall in Puerto Rico. Here's Robin and I, and Lake Michigan in late September is not very warm in Wisconsin, but we dove in, and we have clients who came in from around the world, and we dressed up as butterflies. And this is our way of doing business, is helping people to step into living an abundant life. Because when you're lit up for your life, it gives you more purpose and clarity around our work. They feed each other. And so part of my work in the world was actually giving myself permission to create the business that I wanted. And that was a huge transformation for me, right? Starting a business and saying, well, I think I have to do it XYZ way. And then allowing myself over 8 years to really say, no, this is the kind of company we are. We throw roller skating parties, and my band sometimes performs, right? And we have retreats in the woods, and we hug and we love on each other. Dr. Davia mentioned my book. And so I shared a lot about this journey. And again, it was just trusting step by step with the vision and saying, well, when I share these messages, they seem to touch people. What would that be like to put it in a book? And then as I've trusted myself as a musician, the same as I've trusted myself in business, it's all merged together to help me be a more fuller expression of who I am in all places in the world. And that's what we're passionate about helping clients with, so that you no longer feel like you need to be a split person, living different versions of yourself. So really what it boils down to is we help business owners who bottleneck themselves and get themselves stuck by trying to do all the things. We help you manage and prevent overwhelm and burnout. We help you walk a journey of evolution and change. If you've had a successful business, but now you really want it to be a greater expression of the work you're meant to do in the world, we help you do that so that you can step into greater clarity for what you desire with effective business strategy, leadership confidence, and it leads to results. So we really work in that realm. We say strategy, but it always starts with the strategy of you. Starts with the strategy of you. And then we look at your brand, your business, your leadership, your culture, your legacy. And that's how we bring it all into our unique model as Soul Seed, working with people in groups, one-on-one, and then speaking. So Dr. Davia introed us to this so beautifully, which is for us to think about what is blooming for us in the year ahead. And I started with sharing a story about how our vision can pull us forward. And in order to move in that direction, sometimes there's things to honor and celebrate, but that really aren't going to be a part of going with us. So I'd love for you to grab pen and paper if you don't have it with you yet. Go ahead and get that. And I want to invite you to, if you want to close your eyes, you can, if that's comfortable for you. I just want to invite you to step into your life next year. Step into your life, what you see for yourself, what you see for your business. And imagine that your possibilities, everything that's meant for you, is like a field of flowers, all at different stages. Some stages of your journey are seeds that are just being planted and beginning to be nourished. Some aspects of your journey are really ready to powerfully step into full bloom. Like there are a few things coming to the top that you know are really meant to fully blossom this year. And then there are some flowers as a part of your journey that are beginning to wilt, and they're coming to the end of their life cycle. And those seeds go back to the earth and allows you to plant and grow something anew from what is wilting and what is coming to the end of its life cycle. So you can stay here if you want to keep your eyes closed for a moment and just imagine that you're looking out into the field. And if the field had a variety of flowers that represented your life and or your business and how you're showing up in your business and how you work with people and what you do, how you get paid, is there anything that would stand out to you that is wilting and that you're ready to release with gratitude and honoring it and saying, I'm releasing this. It's not going with me into this journey next year. This part of my journey, this stage has served its purpose. Maybe something that you want to honor and send back with love. So is there something that's wilting? And then what's really popping out that's coming full bloom? What flowers are ready to stand a bit taller, to come into their fullest light, their fullest expression? And if you were to give that a statement, give that something specific, it can be a specific goal that you are stepping into. It could be a project that you're bringing into full existence. So if you capture something, if you want to open your eyes and come back and grab your journal, you're welcome to do that. But I'd invite you to just take a moment and reflect on that and think about your journey as that life cycle with the flower. What's wilting and being released with gratitude? It's not going with you on the journey. Maybe you've learned the lesson. It could be something that you hard learned over and over again, and you might have witnessed yourself repeat the pattern this year, or it could be a client or a project. And you're ready to lovingly send it back to the earth. And what's blooming? What do you want to give all the nourishment and a focus and energy and attention to bring it fully to life? So I hope everyone captured something. I'm going to invite, and if you didn't, that's okay. Usually we go like pretty deep into it. When we do this as a few-hour workshop, we really get into a guided visualization, and you might choose to do that yourself. You might choose to take these prompts and go do a meditation in the next few weeks. I encourage you to do that. But if you didn't get something right away, that analogy didn't work for you, you can think of this as a future self letter. Like, where do you see yourself next year, this time? Are there some future goals or something specifically that a year from now you want to look back and be able to celebrate that you accomplished? If there's something that way that stands out to you where you're like, yes, I know by next year, this time, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. So this is a bit of a choose your own adventure, whether it's something for personal life, business, or you have something standing out in each of those areas. Our next prompt is to take the thing that stands out for you that you want to move forward. And I want to invite you to think about 3 powerful questions that will help you bring this flower into bloom or bring this goal into life. And the first question, so you can copy and paste these, write them down. The first question is, what does success look like for you around this vision or this goal? When this flower has come to its most powerful, potent bloom, what does success look like for that? How do you know that you've reached success around this goal or this vision? Are there some benchmarks you want to give yourself? Is it a way you want to feel? What does success look like for you when you've achieved that goal, that vision? The second question around this vision, this goal, what are you no longer available for that is getting left behind so that this flower can really take center stage, or this vision, this goal, this thing that you see for yourself living into in the year ahead? Is there something that you're no longer available for? And the last question, when you think about your vision, your goals, what are the risk factors that could prevent you from fully stepping into it? We're going to have space later for masterminding and breakouts. And I think these are really powerful questions because we all have risk factors. And I really find that when we problem solve that together, we mastermind, right? We lean into our accountability partners. We get connections to the right resources that can help us. So just being honest with ourselves about what are our risk factors? Is it saying yes to too many things? Is it, we know that we're not good with the bookkeeping, and if you want to work on your financial goals and you really stink at bookkeeping, that's a risk factor. Maybe it's time to hire someone to do it for you. It's unique for each of us. We've all got our own risk factors that we know prevent us from following through on the thing. So the third step to this exploration today, giving you some food for thoughts to work with, is when you think about this vision or goal, pick something specific that that you've been saying to yourself, like you want to see this to the next level next year. And then taking an assessment about where you stand with that project or that goal and looking at all the aspects that are needed to move a goal forward. Now, I'm going to show you an assessment tool that we use with our clients, and this relates more for business and career goals, but you can adjust this to work for you. And I want to introduce the concept of it, and you could take it and make it your own in any way that works for you. So what we've found in working with clients is that sometimes we work with people who are so heavily on one side where they feel so lit up for their mission and they're so driven for their mission, but then they struggle with, well, how do I actually execute a strategy, right? And then I have clients who are so good at doing all the tasks that they kind of miss the whole point of connecting with, well, how do they really feel about the business they're creating? And so I'm all about looking for that alignment. How do we create alignment between who you are and what your business strategy is? Because I know that you will experience greater freedom, joy, success at that place of alignment. And so I've gone out in the world and I've created tools that we teach to clients to help you come to greater alignment. And so this is one of the tools that I created a few years ago to help with this. And we call it our alignment assessment. All right. So when you think about your goal or the thing you want to move forward, think about that and assess yourself. We're going to think about that project and assess against some of these key aspects that are important to holistically being successful in your career or business. All right. So mindset, think is how you think that you're doing with your self-care, your leadership, your sales. Okay. It's what you think about it. Because how we think and how we feel and what we do are three different things. So with this self-assessment, you want to look at these, what I consider 6 really key areas to being holistically successful in business, but you might have others. So I think it's important to add your own, or one of these might not apply for you. So let's take, for example, sales. So let's say that if you have a goal that you want to reach in your business, and you can assess that against, what do you think about doing sales for that project? What comes up for you when you think about doing sales? And rate yourself on a 1 to 10. What's your mindset like around that? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about doing sales in your business? Does it make you feel good and lit up and alive for it? Or do you feel kind of like, I'd rather avoid that and not have to touch it? And then what are you actually doing? You might say, yeah, I think it's really important and I feel pretty good, but I actually haven't been following through on any sales conversations. Then that might be a lower score. What this allows you to do is rate yourself from 1 to 10 in each of these areas to start to recognize what are some of the gaps that could prevent you from living into your vision or following through on your vision, getting kind of granular, looking at your vision as specific goals and things that you want to accomplish. So your self-care, I believe self-care has to be a part of the equation when we look at growing our businesses. What do you think about your self-care? How do you feel about how your self-care has been lately? What are you actually doing to manage your self-care? And then looking at your leadership, looking at your sales efforts, money management, marketing, your processes and systems. These are the core areas that we work with clients around. Again, you may decide to make this work for you based on your business model. And what this might illuminate is for you to recognize if you're really strong, top to bottom, you might be really strong in one area or a few areas, and then from left to right. This may help you recognize that for you heading into next year, there might be a gap area, which is something to look at and say, how could you potentially get resources or support? Sometimes we naturally want to focus on the things we're really good at, which I'm a big fan of going with your zone of genius, but we also need to be aware of where the gaps are so that you can work with that and get the support that you need to help you be more successful in your vision. So I realized that I'm also going on 3 hours of sleep, which is highly unusual. So I feel like my explanation of this today was not the best as usual, but I want to give a moment for if there's questions for this, because I want you to be able to take this and work with this after the workshop today. So does anyone have questions specifically about how to use this assessment and how it might be able to work for you? Feel free if you want to unmute and ask any questions about this. Anything coming up? Okay. And Annette, did you have a question?
I love this. I would just do smiley faces, sad faces. I'd make it easy because that's how I work. But
I love it.
My question is on if your leadership is off in any of these places, wouldn't it be off in all of them? Because isn't that self-leadership, or what do you need by leadership? Leadership for your team? Or...
Yes, beautiful. And I think that you can define it for yourself. So on one of my versions of this assessment, I have self-leadership as one line, and then I have team leadership as another line. So I think take it, and you might decide to split it into two, or if some people don't have a team. And I think that's part of the whole exercise, is making us think about our own definition of, I guess I am a leader. What does leadership mean to me? So I love that's a fabulous question. If anyone, I know I went a little quick with that, and if anyone wants more guidance on like how to do it, or you're like, that was a lot, I want to focus on this after the workshop, you can get this assessment along with additional instruction. You can hold up your phone and scan this QR code. So we give away the alignment assessment free, and then also a leadership legacy workbook that goes much more deeply in some of the vision related questions. So feel free if you want to scan these. We'll drop the links in the chat also. But this is our way of approaching vision by creating some space to start with, looking inward at what's coming alive for you, right? What do you feel drawn toward? It's important to start from that place around what really aligns with your values and where you see yourself taking your life, because you've got to start there and then apply the strategy. If we do it the other way around, then we're kind of missing the opportunity to really build something intentional for yourself. So I always encourage everyone is create the space for the conversations, to let yourself feel into what feels like it wants to come alive. And then you can look at that and say, now what's my sales strategy for this? What's my marketing? What's my next step? Where's my gap? For those who are on this journey and may like that support heading into the new year, Robin mentioned once a year we offer Ignite Your Brand, and we are starting that December 12th into March. It's our 12-week intimate group coaching program. It includes a retreat. And this is our signature body of work where we support clients in walking this journey to deepen your self-trust, get greater confidence and momentum with taking your business to the level that you want it to go next year, particularly if you're walking a journey of change, like you've been successful doing things a certain way, but you know you kind of want to pivot it or shift something. This is what the program is designed for, is to help you do that in a way that honors you, but also systematically walk that change, right? Just like I walked that change from when I shifted from being a marketing agency where we had 30, 40 clients and we're doing $1 million in revenue in over 3 years. I shifted that to where I said, I really just want to work with people, particularly women, on their journey of change and how we walk that journey in a way that basically didn't burn the whole thing down. But I was like, how do I do this that's honors me, but is strategic, is done smartly, brings some of our clients along for the journey. And that's how we support clients as well. So that's what we have available. I also work with a few clients privately, and so does Robin. We offer private coaching. We have a few spaces in January for that. And then our group program, it's $5,000 over the 4 months. That includes the retreat, it includes the lodging, it includes coaching with us. And we're happy to give more details and have a follow-up consult for anyone who wants to explore that further. So I would love to see how we could pivot these thoughts around vision and really meaningfully connecting with your vision, and pivot that into our breakouts and see where Dr. Davia wants us to take that conversation today. And I thank you for the opportunity to share this with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. So I'm sure that everybody got, some really good value from this. And so what I want us to do is, I know firsthand what it's like to go to something and then you get some good information, but then you go right into the next thing and you don't really apply it. So I'm going to have us go into breakout rooms of 3 each, and each person's going to have 5 minutes to share around, I think sharing around the 3 questions that Amber asked us is a good way to go. What does success look like for you for 2024? What are you no longer available for? And what risk factors are showing up for you? And I would suggest, outline very quickly in your 5 minutes what your answer to these questions are, and then give some room for feedback, because you never know, you might get some feedback that might be the thing that propels you forward. So hang on one sec while I do one thing, and that is break us into breakout rooms, but also say goodbye to our friends over on Facebook. This is me. Who got value from our breakouts? Come on, who got value?
Very
Who
good.
absolutely enjoyed Amber's presentation? I thought it was fantastic. I could just take like maybe one, because we're a little bit over time, just one or two shares of anything that bubbled up for you during the breakouts that was particularly on points. Nobody had anything at all happen
No,
in the
I'll
breakouts. The
say,
breakouts were uneventful.
no, I'll share, Davia. So one of the things that says like a risk factor that I have is like sometimes I rebel against being a responsible adult because I'm always responsible. And it was like so nice to hear that. I'm sorry to shout you guys out, but Robin and Don said the same thing. Sometimes we don't want to be the responsible adult. We want somebody else to take care of us, and that's okay sometimes. So thank you so much for that.
It's nice to be validated too. I think it's nice to have a little bit of validation and know that you're not alone. And that's one of the reasons why these meetings are so great, because we have the opportunity to recognize that the stuff that we're going through, everybody else is, and it's okay. And we have support and we have community. Can I take one more share? Just one more thing that popped up. I'm kind of hoping that a particular special someone will share, but I'm not going to call her out. Mariette.
Yeah. So in mine, it was all about much more the energy work of it rather than the nitty-gritty work of it. I'm explained to them that I was a very flowy person because I'm an expression magician. So my inspiration comes. I also have a open head and ajna. So in my manifesting generator, and I think what we got to was I'm holding myself back. My resistance is actually just letting myself be that flowy, odd, sort of like freak flag fly kind of person.
You be as weird as you want to be.
And be that person, because I watch myself even in my writing, because I write things that are not traditionally coaching okayness. It's like the other side of it. And so I get really scared of putting that kind of stuff out because it's so against the grain. And anyway, there are more coming because I've just posted a few that will be coming out. So I'm just releasing the resistance of holding myself back from being, who I am, that kind of crazy person.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annette.
I'm so grateful.
Annette helped me with that one there.
Amber, any final words before we wrap this up, just to tell us a little bit more about your offer and maybe see if we can be certain to participate in whatever you have coming up.
Thank you everyone for being amazing. You all are great. Again, I am a little wonky with my limited sleep, so I don't know if this was fun. You should see me when I get a full night's sleep. You all are great. I just can tell. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect with awesome people.
And I feel like we're going to bring Amber back. Who wants Amber back? Yeah,
I do. I need a reprisal. I'm telling you, I got to come back when I'm a 10 out of 10.
This isn't happening.
But I did want to say we offered something just to our client network, but I'm offering it here too. I know we've dropped a lot of links, but if anyone wants, usually we never sell hours with either Robin or I just because of how deeply we're serving clients, but we have a few appointments open the next few weeks. So if anyone does want to do a follow-up 1 hour, it's $111. And then you also get an awesome gift kit with a bunch of cool things for visioning for the new year, like a bunch of curated goodies. So we did that special for our clients a few weeks ago, but I'd love to extend it here. So if that, resonates, it's a chance you can pick which one of us you'd like to do a call with, and then we mail you a box of goodies.
I love that. I feel like I'm going to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody. Hey, let's keep
it's
the
like
going.
Christmas.
How do we sign up for that?
There's the link. And then when you fill it out, you pay with your card, you'll get an email back with a link where you either book on Robin's calendar or my calendar, and you can pick which one of us. And then we give you some direction in there, like what Robin's expertise is versus mine. So you can kind of pick like, I guess you could buy two and do a call with both of us if you really want.
And the link will just be in the chat.
That's amazing. That sounds great. Awesome. I'm so glad that all y'all could join in with us today. You know how I absolutely love Ladies Power Lunch. It's like my spirit animal is Ladies Power Lunch, really. And also Beyonce, but more Ladies Power Lunch. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up for yourselves, but thank you for showing up for each other. Thank you for being community. And my hope is that when we get together next month, that you'll be here with us as well. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time. And then